Title: My wife joked about trading husbands in public. The neighbor's reply left her frozen. I still remember that evening like it happened yesterday. We were at a small neighborhood gathering. Nothing fancy, just a casual barbecue hosted by Mark, the guy who lived 2 houses down from us. The air smelled of grilled chicken, the chatter was light, and for the most part, I felt relaxed. My wife, Emma, had always been the social butterfly between us, and as usual, she floated from group to group, laughing, talking, her voice carrying above the rest. At one point, she ended up in a circle with a few of the women, glasses of wine in hand. I was close enough to hear, but far enough to stay unnoticed. They were joking about marriage, typical small talk, when suddenly Emma smirked, tilted her glass, and said loudly enough for everyone to hear, "Sometimes I wish we could just trade husbands. You know, mix it up a little." The women burst out laughing. A couple of the men overheard and chuckled awkwardly. It was supposed to be a joke, I guess, but the words hit me like a slap in the face. I tried to mask my reaction, but my stomach twisted. It wasn't the first time Emma had made careless comments at my expense, but this felt different. What made it worse was what came next. One of our neighbors, Claire, the kind of woman who never misses a beat, looked Emma straight in the eye. She didn't laugh. She didn't smile. She simply raised an eyebrow and said, "Careful, Emma. Some trades can't be undone. Sometimes you don't realize what you're giving away until it's gone." The entire group went silent. The laughter died instantly, replaced by an uncomfortable stillness. Emma's smirk faded, and for the first time in a long while, I saw her flush with something I couldn't quite name. Shame maybe, or fear. Her fingers tightened around her wine glass, and she quickly tried to laugh it off, but the damage was already done. In that frozen silence, I realized something. Jokes have roots. And sometimes, those roots reveal truths people are too afraid to say outright. The rest of the evening felt like a blur. Conversations picked back up eventually, but there was a tension in the air that didn't quite lift. I watched Emma, noticing the way she avoided Claire's gaze for the rest of the night. She laughed louder than usual, told more stories than she needed to, almost as if she was trying to cover up that single moment. But I couldn't shake Claire's words. They echoed in my head like a warning I hadn't realized I needed. When we finally got home, I expected Emma to pretend nothing had happened. Instead, she kicked off her heels, dropped her purse on the couch, and turned to me with an irritated look. "Don't start," she said sharply, as if I had already spoken. I wasn't going to say anything. I replied quietly, though my chest was burning. "But maybe you should think about why you said it in the first place. Joking about trading husbands? In front of everyone." Her eyes narrowed, defensive. "It was just a joke. You take everything so seriously." Everyone laughed. "Not everyone," I reminded her, thinking of Claire's steady eyes. "And even if they did, what does it say about us when you're willing to make me the punchline?" For a moment, her face softened, like she might actually admit something. But then she crossed her arms and looked away. "You're overreacting. That's what you do. You make mountains out of molehills." I didn't argue. Not because she was right, but because I was exhausted. This wasn't about a single comment. It was about years of little digs, casual dismissals, moments when I felt more like her target than her partner. That night, I lay awake long after she fell asleep beside me. Her words replayed over and over, mingling with Claire's reply until they became a single unshakable thought. What if she really does see me as replaceable? I tried to tell myself it was silly, that no marriage is perfect, that people joke about their partners all the time. But deep down, a seed had been planted. And once it's there, it grows. The next morning, sunlight spilled through the curtains, but it didn't warm me. Emma was humming in the kitchen, making coffee like nothing had happened, like the night before had been erased. But I couldn't let it go. I walked in, sat down at the table, and waited for her to notice the heaviness in my silence. She finally glanced at me, mug in hand. "What now?" she asked, her tone clipped. "I need to know something," I said evenly. "When you made that joke last night, did you actually mean it? Even a little?" Her lips pressed together. She set the mug down with more force than necessary. "You're really not going to drop this, are you?" "No," I said. "Because when Claire answered you, you froze." And I saw something in your face I've never seen before. Fear. Guilt. Something. For a long moment, she didn't respond. Then, in a voice quieter than I expected, she admitted, I didn't think she'd say that. I didn't think anyone else noticed. Her words stung more than I could explain. So you did mean it? She shook her head quickly. No. I don't want to trade you. It was just stupid. I guess I wanted attention, to seem funny. Maybe to seem like I wasn't boring. I stared at her, wondering how many other jokes had been little masks for truths she didn't want to say aloud. You don't realize, I said slowly, how many cracks a marriage can take before it starts to split. And last night, in front of everyone, you almost broke something that can't be fixed. She reached across the table, her hand trembling. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it. I didn't think about how it would make you feel. For the first time in years, I pulled my hand back instead of taking hers. I wasn't angry anymore, just tired. You don't have to think about how I feel, Emma. But if you don't start, then one day, someone else's reply won't leave you frozen. It'll leave you alone. Her face went pale, and in the silence that followed, I knew she finally understood.